whether you have never picked up a weight in your life or you've spent years doing cardio, wondering why nothing's changes, whether you're in your 20s and thinking it's something that you'll worry about later on, or whether you're in your 40s or 50s and feel like your body is no longer responding or you have just essentially a different set of rules, this episode is for you. Strength training is not only about aesthetics, but what it is about is having a healthy metabolism, strong bones, a well-functioning brain, and your quality of life at 50, 60, 70, and even beyond. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today, I am joined with my guest hosts, Lacey and Kira. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. It's Friday. It's the Friday before my birthday. Slay.
Slay. Yeah, today we're actually recording on a Friday, which is not normal for us. But today we're talking about a very important topic that I think means a lot to all of us. We did an episode, I feel like over a year ago, about this, but we wanted to dive into it a little bit more. And we're talking about resistance training. So this episode is very important for you. I know some people turn away from this if they think they don't lift weights, they don't want to work out. But whether you have never picked up a weight in your life or you've spent years doing cardio, wondering why nothing's changes, whether you're in your 20s and thinking it's something that you'll worry about later on, or whether you're in your 40s or 50s and feel like your body is no longer responding or you have just essentially a different set of rules, this episode is for you. So what we're really trying to get everyone to understand in this episode is strength training is not only about aesthetics. It isn't just about getting tone or fitting into smaller jeans, but those things can definitely happen and there's nothing wrong with wanting them. But what it is about is having a healthy metabolism, strong bones, a well-functioning brain, and your quality of life at 50, 60, 70, and even beyond. As we know, women are very chronically under-researched in science in general, but also exercise science. As we also know, we find it very infuriating. A lot of what women have been told when it comes to fitness and working out is that we just need to walk or do cardio or lose weight, be smaller, whatever that might be. And it's left us all very depleted. And so we are going to do our very best today to change that narrative because that's what we love to do. So I'm excited to dive into it. Like I said, we've all kind of have our own past with strength training and I feel like have different but similar relationships with it. So I think we'll all offer a different perspective, which excited to dive into it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, baby, let's get swole. Woo!
Yeah, that's what this is about. If you guys lift one weight, you're gonna look like a man.
Huge.
So okay, so I want to I want to start off with talking about, and I feel like as we kind of move through, we'll talk about, like I said, just our different perspectives around it and our relationships with it. But I want to start off with just talking about what strength training, resistance training, weightlifting, they all kind of mean the same, but what it means. Okay, so we're going to talk about what it is and what it actually means, the definition of strength training, because there's a lot of I feel like almost intimidation around it as well if it's something that you haven't done. So strength training, resistance training, weightlifting, whatever it might be, is any form of movement where your muscles are working against resistance. So the goal is to make your muscles work harder than they're used to. What happens then is they adapt, they grow stronger over time. Now, this is also very important. It does not only mean that you need weights or a barbell or you have to go to the gym or doing heavy squats, whatever that might look like. It can also mean bands and machines, even body weight, especially at the beginning. And we'll talk about why we might need to move out of that at a certain point as well. And that is the concept of progressive overload. So this is really what moves the needle when it comes to strength training, and it looks completely different for everyone. So progressive overload means we are simply gradually increasing the demand you're placing on your muscles over time. Our body is very, very smart. It adapts to what we give it. So once it has adapted to a certain load, you have to give it a reason to keep changing and a new challenge, essentially. So how I would think of that is, let's say if you are a woman, and this is something we often do, we go into the gym, we stick with the 10-pound weights, and that's always what we use for the rest of our life, your body, once again, is smart. It adapts to that weight, and it will get to a point where that is not enough of a stimulus to elicit change, muscle development, and all of these different hormonal and longevity benefits that come from it. So what it can look like is there's different things. It doesn't always mean adding weight. It can mean slowing down your set, doing more sets, focusing on mind muscle connection, doing more reps, whatever it might be, decreasing your time between sets. So there's different ways that we can do it. Now, why it can be really beneficial to use weights is because if we are, then this is the whole debate with Pilates, is we start Pilates and we see a lot of really amazing changes in our composition if you haven't been resistance training or targeting those muscles before. Now, what happens is it gets to a certain point where that body weight resistance isn't enough to elicit any more change. And that's why you hear so often, and some people are going to disagree with me on this, and I'm not saying that Pilates isn't good to do long term, but if we're looking for muscle development and body recomposition, a lot of the times you will get to the point where that is not enough of a stimulus to elicit change. And that's where adding in things like extra weights, like extra resistance, whatever that might be, sets can be really beneficial, and I would debate necessary. But if you've never worked out before, you can start with body weight, you can start with yoga, you can start with Pilates, you can start with bands. You will get to a point where you might need a little bit extra. So,
And don't underestimate that like mind body connection and what a difference it can make in your workouts, because I'm working out at home right now only. I'm not going to the gym and all I have is 10-pound weights. So it'll be a whole year. I should get some 15s, honestly. I don't know why I'm
get some 15s, some 20s, some
doing
bands.
that. I have bands, I have like a ball and a bunch of stuff, but when I actually slow down and like do like focus on what I'm doing and take a minute to look at my posture and focus on my pelvic floor and all of that stuff, I feel like I get way more out of the workout than I do when I'm just like,
And you're just more likely to use and utilize the correct muscle, right? Because when you're not thinking about it and you're going through the motions and it's quick, what the muscle that's going to do the most lifting is just your strongest muscle, right? So it's like you might be doing something and you want to target your glutes, but if you're rushing through it and your quads are just stronger, your quads will just
Yeah.
always take over. So it's so much better to just, slow down and actually focus on what muscle you are wanting to utilize to do that motion.
Yeah,
Oh,
like if
cool.
you're new into the gym, I think that's the number one thing you can do is just think about the muscle, like Google it if you don't know, because like I'm trying to dial it back to as basic as possible. If you don't know what muscle that exercise is supposed to be targeting, Google it and really just think about using that muscle, because a lot of the times, and it just takes time. I think about, like, I have videos of me when I first started going to the gym and I'm like, girl, like what
Are you
you
doing?
weren't doing anything. And it's not like I went and saw a personal trainer to help me. I just really, 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 that was the best piece of advice I got, is just focus on the muscle that you are targeting. And that alone will help a lot. And so many people, they just aren't, we have no, I can't think of the word.
Well, we're
but
just like so disconnected from your body that
Yes.
you don't even understand what muscle or like what that feels like to engage your muscle and to use that muscle. You know what I mean? But I always just think of it like, say you're doing a squat and you want to utilize your glutes. It's like you need to like clench your butt to like pick you up, and then like you can do it like that. Like it's just so it's like fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always had strong muscle mind connection, but I think there's just so much disconnect that people don't even know what
It's
that
like baby
is.
reindeer. They're just like
Yeah.
floating through space and don't know where their body is. It's
But
like that's
even
one of the
too,
number
like
one things.
the check off, like, are you just checking off the list going to the gym? Like, are you going to do a workout just so you can literally say that you did it and it's done? Or are you going there, like Jensen said, for that longevity, muscle building piece? Because that's why you should be going. And like,
Yes.
sometimes we forget. And sometimes too, I'll find like halfway through it, I'm like, okay, I can do it on the down squat, but then the up squat is weird. Oh, there I am using that muscle. Like it takes time to figure it out. And I'm definitely
Yeah.
behind you guys, I think, in this. So
No, you've been working out for a long time. But I think it's so true. Like, it's good to have that perspective. You're postpartum, you're at home. Like, you can work out at home. Like, and there's different ways. If you don't have, yes, at one point, Kira, you should be getting like 20-pound dumbbells because you can lift heavier than 10. But at one, like if that's all you have, start off with that. Try increasing your reps over a certain time. Try slowing down your movement. Try changing the period in which you are resting in between sets. There's so many different things that we can do. And then just like you guys, like we were just talking about, also just thinking about, am I actually targeting the muscle that I'm working on? So, and we'll talk about it, but if you are looking to change your composition, this is the best way to
Can
do
you
so.
just explain what composition is?
Oh yeah, you know what? I actually had someone, I was on a call with someone, they're like, what do you mean by composition? And I was like, oh.
The only reason I know is because like I'm a horse girl and like horses, I know what composition means in that like world, but for people on
That's
is
so
it like-
funny.
Yeah.
This episode of The Wellness Effect is brought to you by Lifestyle You. If you're listening to this podcast and thinking, okay, this sounds like me, whether it's low energy, hormone imbalances, stubborn symptoms, or you just feel like you've tried everything, Lifestyle You is our root cause coaching program designed to help you actually connect the dots.
We use functional nutrition, personalized support, and functional lab testing to figure out why your body is doing what it's doing, instead of just guessing or slapping a Band-Aid on symptoms.
And because you're a listener of The Wellness Effect, when you use the code Wellness Effect, you'll receive a free functional lab when you join the program. If this episode is resonating with you, make sure to share it with a friend, subscribe to the podcast, and check out the show notes to learn more about Lifestyle You and how to apply. So basically, composition, I would say, is just the like body fat percentage. So your body fat versus your like muscle mass. And so a lot of the times you can like lose weight, but if you're losing fat and muscle, then your body composition isn't actually changing. Whereas if you're losing fat, building muscle, your body composition is going to change.
Yeah, because I almost kind of think of it as like your shape, like with
Yeah.
muscles. Like you can change the way you look, your body composition. But it's kind of a good question because I'm like, yeah, what is the definition of body composition?
Because I totally
Composition, I
thought it was
know.
just like how you look. I didn't realize it was like a fat
Well, yeah,
muscle.
and I feel
That
like it
makes
kind of
sense.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
it
like
is,
the smarter
yeah.
way of saying it.
I actually need to like, I'm glad you, because I use that word so much and it's not,
But
I feel like it is definitely a bodybuilding
because
word.
when we say, oh, I want to do a body recomposition, that's when you're more focusing on staying the same weight, but you're like recomping the way that your body is in different, like, so you're usually putting on muscle and losing fat, but your weight stays the same. So your composition is changing, not your weight. So the way that your body looks at that weight changes the composition.
Whoa.
But your weight
Or you
doesn't
can
change.
even gain weight and look better. And that's like,
And hey, we love that.
That's
Yeah.
the freaking
that's
Dream.
the dream.
It's a goal, baby.
cool. Okay. Got it.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of like what it is, because if you're like intimidated by it, the main thing we want to get across is that you don't need to be, but we also want to be strategic when it comes to working out, especially as like time goes on, and it just makes your life so much easier. It makes it so much less intimidating. But I do want to talk about, and a lot of this episode is going to be why it's so important for our hormonal health and our metabolism. And this episode is definitely more directed to women of all ages. Like I said at the beginning, whether you are 20 or 50 or 60 years old, but this also is so applicable to men in their hormonal health. And so if you need your husband to increase his testosterone levels, then share this episode with
Which
him.
he does, because
Yeah.
every man in today's world needs more testosterone. But that's
Exactly.
besides the point.
Exactly.
But I digress.
Yeah, we digress. Okay, so this is always a fun one to talk about. So muscle is metabolically active. It's funny, Lacey and I were just talking about this when we had a meeting. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of extra here, but first I'll explain what I mean. So this is definitely foundational. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. What that means is muscle burns calories even when you're not doing anything, which is our BMR, our basal metabolic rate. That is the calories we burn when we are laying in bed, not doing anything, sitting there, listening to a podcast. Your muscle tissue is essentially using energy, and fat tissue does not do that. Muscle does. So when you build more muscle, you raise what's called your basal metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns at rest just to keep you alive and functioning. And as we continue to build that, we'll just continue to be more efficient at using and burning calories, both glucose, carbohydrates, fat. And so this is really, really, really amazing, because a lot of the times, once again, when we think about exercising and burning calories, we automatically go to cardio. And this is not me. Cardio is so important for cardiovascular health and can help with losing fat. But the difference between building muscle and resistance training versus doing cardio, doing HIIT, is that our body, when we're doing cardio, gets more, it adapts in a different way. It gets better at saving and utilizing those calories. And so as we do more running, as we do more HIIT classes, your body will, because it's protective, continue to burn less and less calories at rest. And so that is what's happening in that situation.
Not to mention if you're stressed on top of that, which
Yes.
I don't know
And then your
many people.
cortisols.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it builds muscle, but even just, and I don't know if you're going to say this, Jeb, too, but like the recovery of like the repairment of the muscle, that also increases it. So you're getting like double whammy. So we always used to say, like, when you do cardio, sure, you might burn 300 calories on the treadmill and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. But then it stops. But when you go to the gym and your Apple Watch says, oh, I only burned 150 calories, and you're like, oh, I should just do cardio instead. What you're not seeing is then for the next, I can't remember if it's 12 or 24 or 48 or 72 hours, you're actually burning a much, like, way more calories. So it's like, yes, you burn less in like the amount of time that you're in the gym, but what your Apple Watch isn't telling you is by strength training, you're burning way more continuously after you leave the gym versus cardio.
Cool.
Yeah. And like, I think back to when I was in like bodybuilding prep, and you could see it on your watch, is like doing at the beginning, when you would start doing cardio, 15, 20 minutes of cardio, you would burn like whatever, 250 calories. As you started to get more cardiovascular, I don't know what the word is, better cardio, then quite simply, as you started to improve your cardio, you would burn less calories in that 25 minutes. So when you used to burn 250 calories, now you're burning like 150.
Never doing cardio again.
Yeah. That's the moral. All the cardio
But
people.
it's true, yeah. So it's like pretty much if you've been running for 2 years, you're probably like not burning that much calories during that.
No, because your body's smart and it's protecting you, and it's like
It's like, oh, this is what she does every day. She's
it's
running
doing what
from
it's
a
supposed to
bear
do.
every day.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Exactly. So the other thing with that is insulin sensitivity. So insulin is something that I obviously talk a lot about, and just with the like tied to our hormonal health, but also PCOS in particularly. And strength training improves insulin sensitivity very significantly. So what I mean by that is muscle tissues are one of the primary places your body stores sugar. And so when we have more muscle, that means more places for that glucose, for that blood sugar to go, sites for it to be deposited into, which means your body needs less insulin circulating to do that job. This is very important for diabetes prevention, for insulin resistance, which is when our cells stop responding well to insulin. It's connected to energy crashes in the middle of the day, stubborn fat storage, especially around our belly, PCOS, like I mentioned, any kind of metabolic syndrome. As a society, we are extremely metabolically unhealthy. Inflammation. Example I always like to use with this is my dad has type 2 diabetes, and he has worn a glucose monitor, tracked his blood sugar levels for as long as I can remember. And without a doubt, every single day that he would resistance train, there was a huge difference in how less sensitive his sugars were for that day, and could get away with more. And that's why it's really great to have carbs, especially before we are working out, because now our muscles are actually utilizing that sugar rather than it just circulating. So that's why some people will say, like, do calf raises after you eat, because calves are such a dense muscle that it helps with that like glucose disposal.
Yeah, I've seen that if you like can't go for the after lunch blood sugar walk, you literally just sit at your desk and like do those calf raises.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do them when I'm doing the dishes after supper because I'm like, okay, no walk tonight, but here I am.
Well, and they say too, just like even fidgeters, because Zach is definitely like a foot tapper, you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
always is like
Me
moving
too.
his leg, and they burn like 20% more calories than
It's
that was
so
kind of
fucking
what we were talking
annoying.
about, but I
But
know.
you burn more when you eat more and like you have more muscle. Like those people just naturally, and we talked about this on our, I think our functional fat loss, is that when you're in this like like you've been chronically dieting your whole life, or Lacey and I, when we did our bodybuilding, like the amount of calories that we burn just goes down because we are preserving those calories and we're not going to be putting it towards like fidgeting. So it'd be interesting with Zach if he like, and when he has done like cuts, because I know he has in the past, like how much that would
Yeah,
go
because
down
it's
for
definitely
him.
like a nervous tick. So I'm like, I
Yeah,
wonder
for
if it would
sure.
stop. Like, I think it's his
I think it's a
OCD or
little bit of
something. But
Becomes more of a habit over
ADD.
time
yeah, or
too.
ADD or ADHD or some letter combination.
Few
He's got
letters
something
after his
going on.
name.
It's definitely an ADHD thing. It's actually crazy how much
Yeah.
the more the hyperactive part of it, at least.
Well,
it
yeah, because I
seems like.
notice it. He does it the most. Sorry, honey. Hopefully you don't mind that I'm sharing your your Tourette's, but your tics. But when he's like
Tourette's.
talking in like a group of people, or even to like 2 or 3 people, that's when he like does it the most. So I think it's
Oh,
almost
it's like a nervous thing.
like distraction thing, or like that. Then more energy goes towards that, so he's like can speak clearer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like have noticed it.
Yeah,
No, I
my one
remember-
friend has really intense ADHD, and she is the same way, and she's very aware of it. I'm like, you're moving a lot over there.
No, I'll always just like put my hand on Zach's leg.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, what were you gonna
poor
say,
guy.
Kira? Sorry.
Oh, I just remember being in film school and there were some people that would like get up there to do their little monologue or whatever and would have like their fingers would have to be like tapping each other. And it was almost because if you allow all your energy to flow to the one thing that you're talking about, and I do this too, it's like, do you think you're going to be too powerful? Do you think you're going to be too, like, is your message going to be too much? Like, are you too much? Like, that's kind of
Like sitting in that.
yes,
is
and it's
hard.
really hard to like actually, because even on this podcast, as soon as I'm talking, I'm like moving so much and I'm fidgeting with my hair and like
Yeah.
it's constant. But to like try to actually sit and let your energy be going just to your voice is so hard.
Yeah. When you say something and you're just like, it's so hard not to be like, okay. Like, interesting.
So
Okay, cortisol, very fun and trendy topic. And there's a little bit of I would say, this is nuanced, is how I would explain it. Because as we know, cortisol is our stress hormone. And a lot of the times, there's been so much just like, I guess, dialogue on Instagram. It's like, if you have high cortisol, like you shouldn't be working out, but it really depends on how much you're working out, what it looks like, what does your pre and post workout nutrition look like. But as a whole, strength training can actually be very, very beneficial for cortisol regulation. What happens is when we are chronically stressed, which majority of us are, cortisol, as we know, stays elevated. That high cortisol is going to disrupt our sleep, all of those things. Now, what happens is when we are strength training correctly, meaning we're not overdoing it, we're not in the gym 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, it can actually really help regulate the cortisol response over time, and our body gets better at managing stress. Now, like I said, the caveat is that overtraining does spike cortisol, so more is not always better. It often isn't, and it's about finding that balance. Now, another thing that we like to mention, just bringing it back into like the program, is everyone's different. If you are someone that like loves working out and we get your HTMA back and you are 4 low, the pattern we talk about a lot when we are just chronically depleted in those 4 macro minerals, calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, then there is probably a lot of benefit to dialing it back quite significantly. I know that's what I did. I know it's not for everyone if that's something that really does help like your mental health and getting that movement and all of those things, but you definitely, especially if you tie that with the depleted minerals, it is something that you really want to tie back, especially like we've had bodybuilders in the program, their minerals come back and it's like so hard for them to cut back, but it's like okay, we need to do something, because if our body is perceiving every single workout as a stress, we're never going to be able to get those minerals back to where we want them to be.
Yeah. And it's almost like the answer isn't to not strength train. It's like, let's make your body more resilient to stress. Because you should be
Yeah,
able to
I
handle
know.
you should be able to handle cardio too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we still want cardio for cardiovascular health, right? Like it's not this thing that we need to demonize, but
Well, and
yeah.
it's probably more likely that you're missing some of the other foundations if you have been that focused on strength training for that long. Like maybe you are under eating a little bit because your diet is so clean, and maybe you are like not sleeping quite enough, or just like little things like that can kind of
Yeah. Well,
imbalance
especially
the
I think with
scales.
like not to stay on the bodybuilder attack, but it's like you eat the same things, right? Day
Yeah.
after day. So the minerals, the nutrients, like they're lacking. Also, even just the lack of like sodium a lot of the time, because I feel like still so many people are scared of salt. But when you eat like a very whole food, clean diet, sodium's already very low. And it's like almost
Yeah.
hard to get enough sodium in if you're eating whole foods. Like we've all done the thing of salt by our stove, and you actually realize how much salt you put on. You're like, yeah, I don't actually use that much. But
No.
yeah. Anyways.
So yeah. But I know, like, Kira, one time you mentioned, I don't know if you've like thought about it much until
Mhm.
then, but like if they are 4 low, like you've heard that like you need to just like fully freaking rest and like not work out. Where are you at with that? I wanted to hear your
Oh,
opinion
that's a good
take.
question. It is like at the end of the day, extreme, extreme depletion. And like, I guess it's so hard because I do think people will struggle. People, especially women, will be like, but the gym's my place. It's my only place. It's my only moment that I get to myself. And I even remember Lacey saying this once. It's like, well, then you need to find another thing that
Yeah.
makes you feel that, because yes, it's amazing that as women we can like the gym is like kind of like checking quite a few boxes at one time that like make you a really,
Yeah.
really good girl. And so to give that up, to give up the fact that you're not only like making yourself metabolically healthier and you're looking better and you're, I don't know, whatever one other benefit of strength training is.
Preventing
Your cortisol's more
osteoporosis as you age.
regulated.
You
Yeah.
guys are like,
Your
oh my God.
bones are strong.
But you're also getting your me time, and you're maybe also getting to listen to like a cool podcast that you love, and you're also probably socializing a little bit. So you're literally checking off so many things. And I think as women, that's what happens is we think, wow, this checks like 6 boxes. I'm fucking killing it today. If I do nothing else, I got to the gym. And so to like be okay with not doing that, like it's a particular type of person that gets to 4 lows, you know what I mean? So it's
Well, and that's, I was almost going to say is like, well, was it the intense training that dug you
yeah.
into your 4 lows? You probably need to stop. Was it because you ate McDonald's 6 days a week and you've never moved your body once that you're in 4
Right.
low? Like maybe
Yeah.
you need to prioritize going to the gym for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
it's like so dependent on the person too, is as if you should maybe prioritize it or
Well, and
not. And
honestly,
also even just knowing the different levels of those people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because someone who's been training 6, 7 days a week for 5 years, their training session is going to be a lot more stressful and look a lot differently than it is the person who's been eating McDonald's and is super sedentary and they go to the gym for the first time because they're in our program. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? They're not going to be
exactly.
like lifting 200 pounds and exerting themselves. It's like they're
Mhm.
just, so yeah, it's probably more of like Jensen
But
said,
if
like nuance.
and if someone comes to me personally and they're 4 lows and I tell them that they should slow down their workouts and they like spiral and can barely even hear me say that, that's who needs to
Yeah.
do
Like
it.
this is a test.
I'm like, sorry.
How are you going to react?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's so
that's kind
true.
of how I
I was talking about this with my creative director because I was like, well, and do you really like going to the gym 7 days a week and running 700 kilometers? Or do you do that because your body isn't responding and you think if you do it, you're not going to get fat? Because I'm
Or
like,
what are you running away from?
you know what I mean? Like if you woke up and
Mentally.
you had your dream body, would you still have as much motivation as you do and be that attached to the gym if you didn't believe that you needed to do that in order to maintain or in order to not gain weight? Because I think that's so many, like that was my driver for sure. You know
So
what
it's
I
like
mean?
a
It's like I didn't,
fear-based
yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of like, oh, I'm doing this. So do you think ideally are you probably going to get into how often people should go? So I won't ask that.
Yeah, I'll get into that because once again, it is nuance. But yeah, that's such an interesting. Like I always just think of like ultra marathon runners. I'm like, I feel like for them, and this is not me, like, if you like push your body to do one thing at one point, like whatever, that's cool, good for you if you can handle it. But the people that are like running like multiple ultra marathons every year and like can't like not be training for something, I'm like, is it because of your physique? Is it because you're like, it's like a control thing or whatever it might be? But it's just so interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
We're on to you guys.
But again, it's just about having that awareness. What is it for you?
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
about it.
Do you just really genuinely love running 100 miles?
Some people do. I know a girl that does that. She ran
I
for like
know.
19 hours in one day. I was like,
I know.
can't
Sometimes
even
I have to
stay
remind myself, I'm like, maybe they do. Like, maybe they do actually.
I can't even be
Well-
awake for 19 hours.
I know.
Just doing nothing.
And I think people, it just kind of can spiral for people quicker than they think, you know what I mean? But
Oh, it's
I was
addictive.
reflecting on this the other day because I made a post, but progress is like the most motivating things for humans, is being able to continuously progress. And so I think people just kind of start and then you get addicted to that, like getting better. And then it just happened to be that you started running and now you're running ultra marathons because it's like, that's why we all get addicted to bodybuilding, because it's like 1%
Yes,
better
exactly. It's
every
the
single
same
day. You
thing.
can like see your body changing, and then it's like great, and that can form a really good human, but you just need to know like where and how to channel that. And then also like maybe get a hobby that's
Yeah, I was going to say, have you tried knitting?
Yeah. Painting.
that doesn't scratch the itch quite like
No, it doesn't. Well, you never know. Knitting seems pretty rewarding.
Quite like huge glutes and six-pack abs. That really scratches my itch.
Yeah, same.
Unfortunately, that is my itch that I like to be scratched. Okay, let's talk about estrogen and progesterone. So, body fat, as we know, especially visceral fat, which is the fat which is like around your stomach, and we can often like see it. It's really squishy. It's always like lower abdomen, but just like around your digestive organs, essentially. It actually produces and stores estrogen. It is, when we're talking about body fat, that is what is going to be very unhealthy and like metabolically damaging, if you will. And it tends to be women that carry it there more often than not. Not only, but we're just more susceptible because the hormones do play a role. Because when body fat is elevated, estrogen can become elevated, and relative specifically to progesterone. And that is when we get that estrogen dominance, which is, once again, just women are more susceptible to it, but men can also have higher estrogen in relative to that testosterone. Now, when we talk about estrogen dominance, the symptoms are like painful periods, intense PMS symptoms, mood swings, bloating, breast tenderness, fibroids. And so I think so many women can like hear that and relate to it in some way, shape, or form. Even I can. And so how I can relate this back to resistance training is that when we build muscle and reduce our body fat through strength training, through healthy eating, through a little bit of cardio and movement, we're helping bring estrogen just by doing that into a healthier balance. And strength training also can help support progesterone a little bit more indirectly, but because when you reduce that cortisol load and your body has a better chance at managing that cortisol, you give your body more resources to produce that progesterone. We've talked about that before. Cortisol kind of like steals from progesterone. And so if you have low progesterone, the main thing you want to work on is your cortisol levels, your circadian rhythm, your stress, nervous system. And so you can see how all of these hormonal symptoms are all very deeply connected.
Yeah, and almost to like how important it is to have these foundations in place. If you are someone with all that visceral fat and you're holding all of that estrogen in there, and then you just start losing a bunch of that fat and you don't have open detox pathways and the mineral capacity to support detox in your body, they're just going to recirculate, right? And that would be like a crazy loop of shit that would start to go down.
Well, and this is what we talked about for you guys. It will be I think the episode that comes out the week before this, but we recorded it on Wednesday. And just like, does it come more down to like fat loss, or does it come down to like reducing your toxic load? And it really comes down to the foundations. And I think doing it all, and it's not one or the other. It's all of the
All or
things to
nothing.
some content. Yeah. And you got to get into the gym 6 days a week, and you have to switch out all of your products in your home. And if you don't, like, you are never going to lose fat and you're going to die.
Oh,
Just kidding.
she's
I'm
kidding.
kidding.
She's just
I'm kidding,
joking.
you
It's
guys.
okay. You're okay. You can
It's
stay.
fine.
You can
Totally
stay.
kidding. You can do a little bit just when I
Yeah,
talk about
that's
how
the
often you
beauty
need
of
to
it,
get
is
to
it
the
can
gym.
literally be a little bit of each one.
Well, even me, I'm like talking about strength training. My life has been so chaotic the last 2
Oh, yeah.
weeks with like the move and playing catch up with work. And I haven't got to the gym in 2 weeks. And it's like previous me would have been like, oh my God, like, what the hell am I going to do? I've lost all my progress. Rational current me, oh, there's still a little bit of that, like, holy shit, I haven't made it to the gym in 2 weeks. But mostly I would say I'm like, it's fine. Like, even today, I was like, I'm not even going to try to get to the gym. I know I'm not going to be able to. This weekend, time's going to open up and I know it will come back, because the beautiful thing about muscle is once you have it, it's really easy to maintain it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, muscle memory, totally a thing.
okay, testosterone. Once again, we hear testosterone as women. We think it only applies to men. It's very important for women. And it's also extremely important for men. And so if your man has low testosterone, he needs to be lifting weights. So testosterone is really important. Libido, strength, mood, bone density, cognitive function. Low testosterone in women is really, really common. It's linked to fatigue, that low sex drive, difficulty building muscle. And so strength training is a very easy way to like increase testosterone in women. This does not mean you're going to look like you're doing steroids. It is to a healthy extent, and will just make you feel better. Questions, comments, concerns?
No, get that test up.
Yeah. And then thyroid function is really, really important. Muscle mass supports our thyroid function. When we have more metabolically active tissue, it increases the demand your body places on the thyroid. The opposite is also true. When we are in extreme calorie restriction, hours of cardio, it's going to tank your thyroid output as well. So one of the best things that you can do for thyroid function is strength training, adequate nutrition, sleep, rest, all of the foundations, which I think is just, once again, so cool. Like, we get this diagnosis of like thyroid dysfunction, and we're told the only thing that we can do to help it is medication. And this isn't even me saying you shouldn't take thyroid medication, because it can be so amazing for a lot of people, but there are other things we can do, like support our potassium, support our strength training routine, selenium, calcium. Like, there's just so many
Minerals.
things. Minerals. So yeah.
Ah, we love
Minerals. And then I do want to quickly talk about just growth hormone. I think that's an important one as well. Just in general, we hear it a lot of the times, we don't know what it means. So when it comes to strength training, especially more of those like compound movements. So when I talk about compound movements, I'm talking about like the squats, the deadlifts, the bench presses. I would even say like hip thrusts are a compound movement. Essentially what it means is it's requiring more than one muscle group to complete that movement. And that actually stimulates the release of growth hormone. And growth hormone is really important for fat metabolism, muscle repair, our sleep quality, our skin health, our immune function. And it is a very, I would say, regenerative hormone in our body. And so when we talk about growth hormone, it's also really important to talk about the importance of recovery when it comes to strength training, because growth hormone peaks during sleep. And so if we're not properly sleeping and getting adequate rest, then we're not getting all of the benefits that we're talking about.
So cool. Our bodies are so cool. Like, it just amazes me every single time.
Yeah. And so I think we'll kind of transition just into like more of the like as we get older, because I think this conversation is really, really important. And when I'm talking to like women, if I'm doing like a consultation call with them, I always say like a lot of the times when it comes to programs, especially in more of the functional space, this is a huge missing piece in is resistance training and movement. And it is so important, not only for our physical health and our mental health and our hormonal health and all of those things now, but it is absolutely crucial for when we get older, for multiple different reasons as we start to enter menopause, perimenopause. There's a lot of things that are happening hormonally that if we don't have that muscle is going to cause long-term health issues, whether it's like breaking a bone when you absolutely, it shouldn't be something that caused you to break a bone or whatever that might be. So
1 in 2 women have an
yes.
osteoporotic break. 1 in 2. That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. And then 30% of women who break a hip past the age of 60 die within a year.
I know.
30%.
Sorry. Oh my God.
So
I know,
1
take
in
that
2
in.
women will break a bone. And then if it's the hip, 30% of those die within a year just because of all the reasons why you get osteoporosis. It usually means because you're not healthy and you don't have the thing, but there's like blood clots. It's not like the bone is the cause of the death, but when
Right.
you're bedridden for 6 months and you're 65 years old and your bone density is shit, it also probably means that your hormones are, you know what I mean? And so it's
Yeah.
just absolutely
You don't have that.
bonkers.
It's
And
insane.
what, yeah. And there was another crazy stat. Once you hit menopause, you lose 2 to 5% of your bone density every year.
Yeah.
So,
You
like,
better
I've
have
just
some bone density.
yeah,
when you
like
hit
you better
menopause.
have some to lose because 2 to
Yeah.
5%, like that's crazy. Men
It's a lot.
lose like 1% after midlife, women 2 to 5% after menopause
Yeah.
because your estrogen is dropping so quickly. It's just like, man, I just wish I could just scream this from the rooftops because I'm like, do we
Yeah.
not care? Like, it's just like one of those things where people don't actually understand what preventative even is. And it's like, you just think you were the chosen one that happened to. And it's like, no, actually, it was your lifetime of choices that resulted in you
Yeah.
Mhm.
stepping off the frickin'
Or people just think, well,
sidewalk
it
and
happens to
breaking your
everyone. So,
ankle.
like, it's normal and there's nothing you can really do about it because
Yeah.
everyone just gets old and loses, like, motion and
1 in 2
movement. And
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly why. And even, like, what you always talk about, Lacey, is it's not always immediate. What do you always say?
Like gratification.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, it's not always instant gratification. It's like something you just have to fucking show up for week after week, month after month, year after year, and just continue to do. And so, yeah, I think that's what a lot of people struggle with it is like,
It's not just something you can do for 10
You're not
weeks and
ever
then you're
done.
set.
But
It's your
like,
you're
life's
never
done.
done.
you're an adult.
No,
go
I
to the
know.
gym
Yes.
3 days a week for 30 fucking minutes, and
Yeah.
then you won't die. Like, I just,
Yes. How's that sound?
and it's
And
not
I was
even
thinking
that.
of a
Oh, go ahead,
You go,
Jeff.
Lace.
Sorry, I'm fucking rambling right now. But
No, I was just gonna say I was thinking of like a title for this episode. I'm like, it should be like the biggest hack to anti-aging and like preventative health because everyone
Mhm.
wants to do all this like the peptides and the different foods and the different diets and no one's just going to the gym and picking up a weight like you said 30 minutes 3 days a week.
that's it. That's it. And then I had another
Yeah.
thing, but I forgot what I was going to say when I was
Sorry.
all riled up. But
Things
it's
got
just like,
heated.
that's part of being a human. And I hate to break it to you, but you just got to do it. Oh, what I was going to say is who's taking care of you when you become
Yeah.
Yeah.
not independent when you're 60-year-old? Your kids. So it's like everyone's like, oh, well, I just have to be a good parent and I don't have time because of my kids. And it's like, well, why don't you think about when your kids are going to be 20? Do you think they're going to want to move in with you and take care of you? And then you ruin
your
their
ass?
20-year-olds because they have to take care of their parents
Yeah.
because their parents chose to not prioritize their health? Like, it just makes no sense. Not to mention what you're teaching your child to do. And because they
Mhm.
watch, they don't listen. Like, it's just so.
And if you're doing this for your parent right now, it's they didn't know. These conversations weren't happening about lifting weights. And so you can change that. You might just think, oh, well, this I'm doing it for my parent. Like I'm gonna have to do my kids are gonna have to do it for me. But this is such an easy thing to implement. So your kids don't have to do this when they're 25 years old and wiping
And
their
there's
bum.
so, like Kira kind of said, more in a negative way, but we'll make it into a positive way. It checks so many boxes. Like, it's a habit, blood sugar regulation, hormone
Yeah.
regulation, like
Sorry.
so many things that if you just fucking go, you get your time to yourself.
You get to listen to the wellness effect.
Yeah.
They're yelling at you, telling
We're
you
yelling at you.
No, it
I
is.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I feel like some
sad.
people need a little bit of yelling because I don't know what else to do to get people to understand that if you don't take preventative measures and like actually not just be reactive when it comes to these things, like it can
Yes.
change your life, and it will. was just like, fuck.
And it's not always just about length of life. Like, it's like, oh, she lived to be 100 years old. Like, that's so amazing. It's quality of life too. Like, do you
Yes.
want those last 20 years of your life to be like
Not even the last
shitty?
20. What do you want when you retire? So you work your
Yeah.
whole entire life. Do you then want to be in the hospital, or you have to live with your child, or you can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Or you
like,
just don't feel good. Like
you
you're
just
just
feel
like
like shit.
moving, like struggling to get out of the chair. Like
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
listen to
Crazy.
us.
Listen to
That's all
what
we
we're
ask.
saying.
I was thinking about like other podcasts. I'm like, do any other podcasts I listen to, like wellness podcasts, just like yell at you into like
We do it with a
doing the
place of
things?
love.
We have
I
our own
know.
thing going on here.
Yeah, we do.
There's no other podcast like it.
Yeah. There's nobody
I love
like
those
us.
reels that like moms post, and it's like, why do you like prioritize time to work out? Like, you have kids, aren't you busy? And it's like them like lifting, like squatting stuff and like lifting stuff, and then it shows them like unfolding their stroller and grabbing their kid at the beach and
Yes.
like doing the same movements that you do in the gym. It's like so helpful for having children. Like, I say at least like 3 or 4 times a week, I'm like, thank fucking God I work out, because what am I doing right now? This is insane. Like, I'm so
Yes.
strong. I'm not even that strong, but
Yes,
it's
you
stronger
are.
than-
Yes, you are, Kira.
I'm pretty wimpy right
You're Hercules. But yeah, it's crazy. And obviously people have different circumstances, and that's why we're saying it doesn't need to be a lot. If you are like a mom of 4 and you're working and your husband's working, like I know it seems difficult, but it doesn't need to be this dramatic. You do not have to go to the gym. You can do it 30 minutes, like in the middle of the day. You can split it up throughout the day, even if you want. You can do, if all you have is 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, just do that. Like it
Mhm.
doesn't need to be everyone. I know we don't all have the same 24 hours. I hate that saying, but everyone can and should make time for this in their week at some point. And some weeks it'll be easier and some weeks it won't be.
And it's just a reminder of our health net worth podcast that we did, which I thought we should
Mhm.
like put somewhere in school for our clients as well, especially those struggling with that all or nothing mindset. It's like you got to start looking at them as deposits. It's not all or nothing.
like,
It's like a
oh.
deposit is a deposit. Like if it's $10, $20, $30, or 10-minute workout, 20-minute workout, 30-minute work, you're still positively depositing to your future self.
Nice. You nailed that. Positively deposit, positively deposit, positively deposit.
Say that 10 times fast.
No, it's so true. I always forget about that episode. That was good. I didn't expect that episode to be as.
I know, we got so much
Yeah.
good feedback from that, and I was like,
I know.
what?
Thought that was
Ugh,
Kira's
just talking
stupid
out of our
idea.
butt the whole time.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
it's not
Kira,
even.
we'll
It's not
do
even
it.
that it was my. Yeah, no, I was just like, this is gonna be weird. But like, I literally,
But-
like, I have my 10-pound weights sitting in the living room, so I have to walk by them a million times every day, and I'm like, okay, I gotta just pick them up,
Yeah, and I think too, it's like understand the season of life you're in. Like, yeah, this
Mhm.
is not the time when Kira's going to be going doing deadlifts at the gym. She like is on mat leave, quite literally. So it's like, cool, the 10 pounds, like this is going to
Yeah.
get her through maintaining what she's built through the next year, 2 years, or however much she wants. You know what I mean? Like there can be different stages, and that's okay, but you can't just not do it.
Yeah.
Even just doing the pelvic floor videos on YouTube for like you in
Yeah.
this time, and any like postpartum mamas, like that is amazing. That's great. Like, yes, you're not doing 200-pound hip thrusts, and that's totally fine.
Just
That's
finding
a good point.
I think like finding ways in all the different seasons of life to just maintain the gym as a habit is something that I've kind of learned in the last 5 years. And I feel like knowing that it doesn't always have to be perfect, but it's just like, I'm someone who makes the time to move my body one way or another all the time. And it just doesn't even matter what it is. And that takes so much pressure off, because some days I'm like,
Yeah.
I went for a walk today. And some days I'm like, I did 10 loads of laundry and my washing machine is on the bottom floor of my house and my laundry is on the top floor. And you know what? That's going to be it today. But then
Yes.
tomorrow I'm going to make the time. And also taking a step back every once in a while and just like looking at your life and like, have I been giving what I can give to that area? Like, what needs to move and change? And
And it just being something you always come back to.
yeah.
But just to talk about a little bit like that muscle loss, and I think something just to clarify quickly with what Lacey said in the bone loss and the decrease in our bone density is I think sometimes we're like, well, how is lifting weights going to change our bone density? It's because what are our muscles attached to? Our muscles are attached to our bones, and that like structural resistance is what strengthens our bones. That is the number one thing that is going to counteract the decrease in estrogen that causes that loss of muscle. And then
So
from
is
that,
it like the more muscle pulling on your bone, the stronger your bone has to get kind of thing?
yeah, and it happens while you're working out. Like it's that like actual like when we are
Oh.
like flexing, let's say your bicep, it's attached at your elbow and then your shoulder. And that pressure when we're flexing is actually putting tension on our bones. And over time, that is what strengthens our bones. Yeah.
Cool.
Right, Lacey?
Right.
Okay. Any other points with that?
No. Nailed it.
And then just another little tidbit, as women, after age 30, we actually start losing muscle, 3 to 8%. And that significantly increases after menopause. So,
Muscle and bone.
yeah, we got to get ahead of that. Another kind of cool thing, just in terms of like our mental health, because I talked about just like our brain health, our cognitive function earlier, is brain derived neurotrophic factor. Did I get it?
BDNF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
BDNF. Supports neuroplasticity, mood regulation, memory, and there's a lot of studies that link strength training to reduced depression and anxiety in perimenopause and postmenopausal people, and how resistance training, strength training, progressive overload improves that BDNF. So, really cool. And then what else were some points I wanted to make? We talked a lot about just like our joints.
I was just going to say, I always like to think about if you go back and listen to this episode and like we're to actually write down bullet points of every single benefit of strength training, if you could bottle that up and crush it up into like a pill or a powder, you would be a fucking billionaire because people would line up to get that supplement like so
Yes.
fast. So I just think that's such a good reminder and all the foundations are like that. Like they literally just have benefits that fucking branch out so far.
If it was in a pill, people
If
would
it was
buy
in a
it.
pill, everyone would be fucking screaming to take it,
Yeah.
begging to paying literally anything to take that pill.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. And instead, we're paying an insane amount to take Ozempic, which is decreasing our bone density and are making us lose muscle. So that's a little perspective for you all. But you can maintain, if you are taking a little bit of Ozempic, just really make sure you're strength training and eating
Just eat
not
enough
just
and move your
Make sure
100
you have the
calories a day.
foundations down.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Literally.
And if you don't know what the foundations are, listen to every single one of our podcasts we've ever posted and make sure you like and subscribe and comment on
sign
all
up
of
for our
them.
program.
Yeah, and sign up for the root cause reset. Okay, so I want to just talk about where to start. And I feel like I just kind of want to have a conversation with you guys in terms of this aspect. I have notes, but I think we can all just kind of riff a little bit with this because I think we all probably have different advice. And I'll kind of just start with mine. I think we've already touched on this a little bit, is that it really depends where you're at right now. If you're not working out at all, I think starting off with like body weight at home, you can look up workouts on YouTube. You can sign up for the root cause reset. Doing that like 2 to 3 times a week for 30 minutes, like Lacey said, is an incredible place to start. And there are going to be weeks where you don't hit that. And there are going to be weeks where you can do more than that. But I think aiming for that baseline 2 to 3 times a week, 30 minutes, if that even feels like a lot, do 20 minutes. Like it's really just so dependent on the person.
Yeah. And I think, again, it's just important to remember that we're doing this for life, right? There wasn't a point in this podcast where it's like, oh, and when you get to age 62, you can stop. No, this is like something that you always have to do. So remind yourself of that when you're creating your schedule. That's why we're starting with 2 to 3 days a week, because if you think about the rest of your life and you have to do this through all seasons,
Yeah.
that's going to be sustainable. That's why we don't do 6 or 7 days a week, because one, there is a point of negative return, but also you have to do it forever. So just remind yourself of that. I think that's important, especially when you're starting, because it can be so easy to want to go all or nothing. And then you go to the gym and you're lifting heavier than you should. And then you're so sore and then you can't work out for 4 days. And then it becomes impossible to create that routine and that habit. So just set yourself up for success and let it be easy. Like,
Mhm. And just start so light. I think that is even just like if you've been off the gym for a while, that's something that I have just like really learned over the past couple of years is like it's so easy to just like want to go so hard when you get back into it. And then you're just so sore and you don't feel like going back because it was like you think about it and it wasn't an enjoyable experience. And that's where, and if it's us, great. If it's not, it doesn't have to be. Asking for like getting a program can be so beneficial because you have something laid out for you that is going to be curated to what you can handle and you can build up over time because if you are going to the gym, if you haven't lifted weights, those first couple weeks are very awkward. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where to go. You're like walking around the gym and like don't even know what's going on. You feel like everyone's staring at you, but I promise you that period of time if you do end up going to the gym, it will go away and you might always have a little bit of like people call it like gym anxiety and if you go to a different gym, I still get that. If I go to a different gym, I'm like everyone's staring at me because I don't know where anything is. Like I don't know what's going on, but that goes away honestly after like 2 to 3 times of going there. You'll start to know where you want to be, you'll start to know what you need, the machines. And who cares? Honestly, everyone at the gym cares about themselves. They're not going there to like stare at people and like
Well,
to be
remember
quite
that
honest, like go ahead.
Remember that one time I didn't know how to do I forget what it was, some weird squat machine that I didn't know how to do. I think Jensen, you put it in one of my workouts. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, so many people are looking at me like I look like such an idiot. But then I was like, you know what, Kira? Like you're growing. This is something new. You need to just ask for help. So I started like trying to make eye contact with someone to help me. And it literally took like 10 minutes before some guy was like, do you need help over there? And I'm like, yes, please. Like, can you, do you know
Aw,
how
I
to
don't think
use
I knew
this?
that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you think that everyone's just staring at you, and I'm like, I was looking around, like, opening myself up to someone to look at me and help me,
Mhm.
and nobody was. So it's like, you
That's
think
such a good
people
point.
are, and they really aren't. But
well, and think
Well,
about
and also ask
yourself.
for help.
Are you looking at anyone? Did you notice
No.
one person in the, no, you don't because you're focused
and
on
if you do,
yourself.
you're just like, well, that person dropped that, and then that's as long as you think about it for. It
And
leaves
I
your
will
Unless it's
brain.
those
tell you,
people on the cables that are like doing the crazy shit going upside down. Have you seen those videos?
There is one
there's
guy at the
always going
gym
to be
in
someone
Loy.
there doing something crazier than
Yeah.
you, but also just like as a veteran gym goer, like if someone was looking around and they needed help, like that's like makes my day if I get to like go
Yes.
teach
Oh,
someone how
he
to use a
was
machine and I'm not laid in bed that night thinking like that girl was so dumb. That
What
must have
an
been her first
idiot.
time in a gym. I'm thinking like I'm so good at everything. I can
Yeah.
help. Like it's like a cool thing for that
That's
people
so
want to help with, I feel like, especially in like the gym community. So
Yes. Well, people in the gym community that are like ones, yeah, like been in it for a long time, they get excited about people going to the gym. It makes them happy. It's like you get to experience what I experience every single day and the
Mhm.
feeling that this brings me, like that makes people excited. And I used
I
to
don't
work
even
in a
think they think
gym.
about you at all. They just think I
yeah.
helped.
Oh,
They're
I like
nobody.
if I
And
look at people and they're like asking for help, it makes me so happy.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just like,
you're
oh, that's so exciting. Like,
yeah.
and I just think like people like ask for help. There's also people that work at the gyms walking around.
Mhm.
I like worked at a gym and we would always have one person just like walking around and like most people aren't asking for help, but when they did, it's like so exciting.
Like,
It's like,
oh,
okay,
yeah,
I get
let
to
me
like
get
help you. Yeah, like let me help you. What do you need?
I would
And
always
so
tell
ask for
no,
help.
go. Yeah.
That's
I would
all.
always tell my clients to just like go once and your only plan is to go walk on the treadmill and just like try to scope out as much of the gym as you can. Like, where's the entrance? Where's the water fountain? Where's the
Yeah.
bathroom? Where's the weight section? Where's the this section? Because that's like for me, I get that anxiety going anywhere, like to a restaurant, to a new grocery store. I'm like, I don't know where anything is. So it's not even really about other people. It's just like making
Mhm.
yourself feel settled in that space. And for me, just like walking on the treadmill, looking around, like, okay, that's where the
Yeah,
water
that's a good
fountain.
advice.
Because even if your water bottle's empty, you're like, I don't know where the water fountain even is. Oh my God. Like you can just get
Like,
so well, that's me anyway. I don't know if
no, same. Like if I don't know where the like locker room or the dressing
yeah.
room is, if I'm like going to a different good life in a different city, I'm like, I have
Excuse
to
me,
pretend like I know where everything
where's
is,
the
and even though I
bathroom?
don't. Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, it's okay.
It's like,
you
okay,
guys are
weirdo.
so
Like,
funny. That's so funny that you feel like that.
oh
No, I
yeah,
get that.
like
literally
And I was gonna
everywhere.
say too, kinda after you graduated from your home workouts, like a great place to start when you do go to the gym is with machines because they're just so easy
Yeah.
to use and they're kind of the way they're created, it's kinda meant so that you do have, like, proper form, and it's, like, hard to not have good form on machines too, so it's like, you don't have to go there and start lifting
Go
the
through the
plates on
circuit.
the long bar that you don't know how to
Ugh.
use, like, just if all you did was machines for the rest of your life, you'd probably be fine, right? So just take your time getting to there and then yeah, like we said, just, like, watch people from afar and see how they do it, and
Mhm. I've done
yeah.
so many bonehead things at the gym, you guys. Like, I'm just sitting here
Oh my
remembering all
God,
the dumb
same.
shit I've done that it's like,
Well, and just like I have video proof of a
shame.
lot of the bonehead stuff I did, which is even crazier. It's just like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, putting the wrong
uh,
weight like, different weights on different sides of the thing, and then you, like, go to do a squat, and you completely fall over because one side's,
Yeah.
like, 40 pounds heavier than the other, and
Oh, I've got stuck because I put the thing at the wrong height and then I, like, couldn't really, like, get down from it,
oh
but I
my
couldn't let it
God.
go because it would drop, and I was just like this guy's like,
And I want
are you doing squats?" And I was doing, like, good mornings. I'm just like, "No, I'm, like,
no.
stuck here. Can you please help me?"
Oh, that's so nice. You have such a nice gym.
Ugh.
I'm very excited. I'm
Anywho.
like going back to a bodybuilding gym and I haven't been to like a big
Ooh,
gym. And I'm like, this is the shit I
yeah,
love.
so good.
I'm very excited to be in
Okay,
a
what are
Golds.
yeah, trying to think of other tips. Oh, I love what mom always used to say is just, like, put your workout make your thing putting your workout clothes on. Because if you're, like, in your
Yeah.
workout clothes and you keep looking down at yourself and you're still in your workout clothes and you haven't done a workout, you're just like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that works.
Works so good.
And
Yeah, I used
trying
to
to
tell
think.
clients back in the day, I'm like, "I don't even care if you go to the gym, but yeah, you have to put your whole outfit on, including your shoes."
Yeah.
Then you're gonna feel stupid.
Then you're just gonna feel
Then
stupid if you sit down on the thing, but it's like, even when I'm getting back into the routine or I've come back from a trip or something, like, what I do is it's like kinda what Kira says is you wanna just keep that habit, right? So it's like, maybe I went on a big trip or I've just been out of the loop of training and I don't really have that habit. It's like the step 1 is just to get back in the habit. So sometimes, like, I'll drive to the gym and then I'll just go, like, for a walk around the gym, and then I'll just go home. Or I'll
Mhm.
just go and you walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes. It's kind of almost like letting yourself tell yourself you're only gonna do, like, the first exercise. We always used to say that. Or just tell yourself
Yeah.
you're just gonna put on your clothes, and tell yourself you're just gonna drive to the gym because it's usually, like, the mental capacity of doing it that people don't wanna do. It's not that they actually once you get to the gym, you're just gonna go in. Like, it's yeah, so
Yeah. And do like the lightest weight when you get back into it or whatever that looks like. But I do think I remember when I first started strength training, I'd go to the gym with my dad in high school and I would just like go through the machine circuit. And
yeah.
like
Mhm.
that's such a bulletproof way. Like
Do your
just
favorite ones. Do the ones you
yeah, and then you'll
enjoy.
start to like feel more comfortable with that and like get like we were talking about so many people are like baby reindeers. They don't even know like what limbs are flying anywhere and as you start to work on that, you'll start to like gain that like mind muscle connection and then you can start to you'll get curious. You'll want to like go out and you'll see like that jacked guy or girl on the other end and see them doing movements and it's like, I wonder if that's why they look like that. Like maybe I want to try that. And that's why I do think unless you have the time and like the interest, like for me, I just like started to love the gym and I was like watching YouTube videos all the time. And like that's how I started to really learn. But if you don't have that in you, I do think it can be really beneficial either getting someone to make a program for you in your life that really likes the gym, hiring someone, doing a couple sessions with someone at the gym that can like teach you that form if you feel really not confident about it. I know for us, I always say like to our clients, like send me 1 to 2 videos of you doing a movement a week and we can build on that every single week. If you feel uncertain about your forms, we can get the most out and avoid the injury. But yeah, I think just take it at your own pace, ask for help, and
Have
remind yourself that you're
fun.
not only doing it for how you look,
the
it's
bang
how
and
you
bod
feel.
that you'll get, you're also getting it, so you live a long life.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom. Get to look hot for longer.
It really is crazy how when you're consistent with it, like your just
I'm
composition
getting
starts
really
to change.
excited to be able to, like, really get back into it.
I know. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it is fun. It's fun when you're feeling good and you're healthy and you're moving your body and you're strong, and it's like what I said, like, progress is the most motivating thing in the world, and, like, strength training is one of the easiest ways to consistently progress.
Mhm.
And so it's just like if you are feeling like lull in your life and you're like, I don't have any motivation, it's because you have nothing that you're progressing towards. So find something. And strength training is just, again, it checks so many boxes that you might as well just do that. And then by strength training, you'll be able to do a lot of other cool shit because you're strong now.
Yeah. And you're just going to find yourself being, I wonder if I ate different, if my
I wonder if I
my
could get stronger.
results would be better. I wonder if I slept better, if my results would be better.
No, it's a gateway drug.
Protein people keep talking about.
This protein stuff is. I want to know more about that. And then all of a sudden,
I'm going to do creatine next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit. It's so cute.
It's just such a good one. Great job, Jeb. Love that. Great job, Jeb.
Hopefully it was great job, Jeb. Hopefully it was good. You know what's crazy? When I get married one day, my initials will not be Jeb. Jack. Hopefully.
Hopefully Matt.
Matthew.
Jack. Okay, that's
Jack.
cool.
No,
that's what I was going to
like
ask you.
Jeb.
So you would change your name,
I think I would, yeah.
Jack. Jensen Cox.
Jensen Cox. Caxy.
I'd change it too if that was the option. What about you, Kira? Wangler.
I mean, I would like legally change it, but I'm not like getting a new email or changing my Facebook profile.
That's actually a cool last name, Wrangler.
Wangler.
Oh, it's Wangler. I thought it was Wrangler.
No.
I was like, that's cool.
Wangler.
It
Wrangler
sounds like
jeans.
that though. Wangler.
Wangler's not bad.
Yeah.
What's Zach's? You didn't Hebert legally change it.
Hebert. No,
Bless
I
you.
did not change my name. But we were talking about this on the boat on the weekend because Sierra, there's a couple people in our friend group getting married, which is so fun. But they're all changing theirs. And they're like, I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, I've always wanted to change it and blah, blah, blah. But
I get
I just
both
feel
sides.
like it's not that I think it's outdated if you do it. I just think having to do it is like kind of olden days. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then
That's
for
what I
me,
mean. It's like I'll just start writing my name as Kira Wangler.
well, and
but
I'm like,
not
if we
gonna,
go
like,
to like, not that I think like I'm not someone because they were like, so like your kids are gonna be Iskra, and I'm like, no, the kids are gonna be Hebert.
Ew.
Like I'm not like a crazy
Sorry, I
feminist
shouldn't
person.
say you, but
and I'm
like,
like, and they're like, oh, you're
that
gonna
is
make
you to
Zach
me.
take your last name, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. Like I'm like, Zach is so grounded in who he is as a man
Yeah.
because he is a Hebert. I'm like, I would never want him to change his name. But one, because our last name is Over, which is kind of a crazy
I was
thing.
going to say, you guys are girls, so I feel like you have a family of girls. That does play a role. Like, because I have a brother, I'm like, okay, well, like.
And we also have like I love our last name. I think it's
I
so
love our
unique
last name.
and like
Yeah.
cool.
I know,
And-
I do love my last name, so it would be, it's
And
not an
I
easy
almost,
decision.
it's funny that you said it like that, Kira, because I'm just like, why would I bother going through all the fucking paperwork when I'm not going to change my Instagram handle, which I
No.
feel like is like the modern world of like, oh, are you changing your last name? AKA, are you changing your Instagram into Facebook? And so
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I go through all the paperwork? But I'm like, if we go to the restaurant, it's like, oh yeah, Lacey Hebert.
Socially.
Kids.
Is what
Yeah,
they say.
and
They'll
like
change
on
it
all
socially.
Ellie's like dance stuff already, like it's like Kira Wangler because they just like go by the last name, and I'm the one that signs her up, and I'm just like, yeah, like that's cool. Put me on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At day, like whatever. I don't need to be.
The only thing I've heard is that it can be difficult traveling with kids if you don't have the same last name.
But like it's not.
But
Marina's
like with
taking.
passports. No, I've heard, like I've talked to people, and it's like they like, yeah, it's not
They've
just like
struggled.
a rumor. Yeah.
Marina's always done it too and like been totally fine. And like I took Ellie to Mexico, just me and
Yeah.
her, and like they didn't even.
I think it's less of a thing for sure.
Bat and
For
I.
sure now.
But I am like, this guy, are you gonna ask me like how we're related or like why I have this kid? We don't have the same last name.
Yeah, that's like interesting. They wouldn't even. This is my.
Yeah, I
child.
feel like just as the world's gone on and so many people have babies and they're not married, it's like you can't
Yeah.
really be a stickler for that
Yeah.
because it's not a rule that you have to like be married to have a child. So it's like kind of hard to
Yeah.
like they're not
Yeah.
going to challenge
every
everyone
person.
that crosses the border. Like, yeah.
There's got to be other.
So I feel like it was
But
probably
they
more
almost
of a
should
thing.
be probably doing that.
yeah, I know.
I wish they would.
Maybe they should.
Wish
be.
they would.
Huh.
Anywho,
Interesting.
But anyways, get to the gym, talk about it, let us know how it goes.
change your
and
last name.
change your last name. And
Let us know how much of a pain in the ass it is so that we remember that we don't want to do it. And yeah, but thank you for listening, everyone. I hope this tickles the I don't know
Scratches
what I'm
the
trying to
brain.
say. Tickles the scratch in your brain. tickles your brain, piques your interest to, if you're not already going to the gym and working out, to do it, and removes the like stress that kind of comes with it, because we know it's a lot easier to go for a walk outside, and that is also amazing, but even more amazing doing both of the things. So make sure, as always, to like this episode, share it with a friend that you think could really use it and would maybe benefit it and has explained to you they feel intimidated by going to the gym. Share it with your boyfriend or husband who has low testosterone and needs to get to the gym. And make sure to, if you're on YouTube, click the bell and subscribe and download on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we love you so much. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to The Wellness Effect. We're so grateful to be part of your wellness journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram. We'll put all of our handles in the show notes. If you have questions or ideas, slide into our DMs or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep creating your own wellness effect.